A true warrior.
We finally get a fighter. There we go. All right.
Estrada. There you go.
There we go. What's up, Seniesa? So we're doing our podcast. Seniesa Estrada fights tomorrow.
Beer?
No, it's apple juice.
It's apple juice.
Oh wow, you guys are usually drinking during this, right?
Yeah. We are a perfect example for fighters of like you see the temptation, but you don't want that because you're in the zone right now. Yeah. You want champagne thrown at you tomorrow.
We're testing your limits. Yeah. We want to see how strong mentally you are. You know. If you ask for a beer, that means you're weak.
Yeah. So this is ThursDIAZ. We started doing the podcast last year, usually in the garage. So I taught myself how to do this like program thing right here, as Razo calls it, the little podcast. And this is the first time we've ever done it in person with each other. What? It's usually via the computer.
I know, my dad's your biggest fan. He watches you guys all the time.
Joe! To the wheels! Yeah, Joe! All right. So,
hey, what's my favorite beer? Huh? What's my favorite beer?
Liquor.
Yeah, she got it.
Free. That's what it is. So right here. So Seniesa's fighting for a title tomorrow. Hey, wait, forget the fights. Anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm ready.
Dos Equis, honestly, Joe knows.
He watches the show.
Yeah. So this is our first ever live podcast together, and you're our first guest ever.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes. So
there you go. Yeah. That's cool. All right. So now you've been asked questions all week long, including for myself. How do you feel? How's the fight? All that other stuff. It's boring when I ask you those questions, right?
Yeah.
See, on this podcast, we say the truth.
It's boring. Yeah. I hate hearing the same questions over and over.
What's the one question that I should never ask you?
That you should never ask me? Are you ready? You get asked that all through training camp, all week on fight week. It's like, I mean, shit. Yeah, I'm ready, but.
Do you ever just say like, no, I'm not? You should say.
Sometimes I say that. I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Then it throws them off. They're like, oh shit. What?
You can cuss too. Go ahead. You feel free.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
you know, as a trainer, I always see it. You know, I've been with fighters, different levels, and you see when the media comes in, they ask you for an interview, right? And yesterday I was at the press conference, and some of the fighters were coming around. They're like, "Hey, go rest. I mean, tomorrow's the weigh-ins. You guys need to eat." And they're like, "No, I gotta wait for an interview." Hey, you're gonna get the same interview tomorrow, and you're gonna get the same questions tomorrow. So, hey, you're gonna do it twice, just do it once tomorrow.
Dude, I yelled at some of the media guys. I'm like, you guys already asked her that.
Yeah.
You talked to her yesterday, but it's different. But you get it, the different clicks. All right, here's the most important thing. People are claiming you from East LA, Boyle Heights, El Sereno. Where is Seniesa Estrada from?
I'm from freaking.
From Michoacan.
Oh, there you go. See, Razo's right there.
From Michoacan.
I was born at White Memorial Medical Center in Boyle Heights.
Okay.
Born there.
There's one.
But my grandpa, I trained at Hollenbach Youth Center in the heart of Boyle Heights since I was a kid. My grandpa lived on Soto Street, grew up there a lot, and then I moved to, my parents were raised in Aliso Village projects in Boyle Heights, so I'm from East LA. But I grew up as a kid also in El Sereno, Northeast LA.
All right. See, so Seniesa is LA. So for all of you guys want to claim her, everybody can claim her right now, right? Oh, that Razo is East LA.
Born in the same hospital as Oscar de la Hoya.
Who do you get the anger of a fighter from? Your mom or your dad? Because I love the way when you're like, oh, you go in there. I mean, you know what? I'll never forget the fight with Marlene Esparza, man. I was like this, like, you know, I hardly ever watch women fight, but that day I was like this. Honestly, I mean, you were like, come on, this was, you know, I mean, dude, I mean, that was a fight where I'm like,
yeah,
you know, like, okay, dude, let's go, you know. But that was great. I mean, that was one of the greatest fights. And then your last one too. And I always say, because Antonio and I always pick on fighters, and we always talk when the fighters are really brave, you know, and they were like, oh, esta salió la mamá. Salió el papá.
Sometimes I think it's my mom, but no, it's definitely my dad for sure.
Just because he's here?
No, not because he's here.
Not because he's here, right?
Yeah.
He's a fighter. He's been a fighter since he was a kid. Since he came here from Tijuana, Mexico, and he always had to fight to defend himself from.
Oh well, you got the Tijuana blood. Okay, no problem.
That Tijuana blood.
Wait,
yeah,
I see it. He's from Tijuana. Oh man. Yeah. So the podcast is live right now.
Congratulations, man. Hey,
this is live. It's live on YouTube right now.
She's a true warrior, man. I mean,
we noticed that she was like.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah,
yes.
we noticed. And you know who knows her more than I do? Antonio.
Really?
Antonio, because Antonio's more into the amateurs, but I remember them when they were kids. But she has the full package of a fighter. I mean, she's She's always there. She loves. I mean, you gotta love the sport. When you're in that ring, it's not about just getting in there and looking pretty. It's about loving what you do. You know, and when the fire starts, you gotta get in there and try to turn it off. Her, she always has the fire.
So
at
even
high
when
level.
she was little, you remember her?
Oh yeah, of course. We used to go to those amateur tournaments. She never changed.
Really?
Same.
So,
There was
but there's
Seniesa.
there's certain kids that just stand out. Was she one of those?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Really?
And she still stands out. I mean, when she fights, you know it's gonna be a fight. You know it's gonna be action. And she's a very attractive fighter in the ring. That's why she catches a lot of attention of the fans.
Yeah. Would you remember going to India and all that other stuff?
Oh yeah, I remember him and his
The
brother.
Desert
all
Showdown?
The amateurs, Desert Showdown all the time.
This
Yeah.
is shut down.
Remember the
But,
first one in the baseball
In the
field?
actual desert. In the
Wait,
baseball
there was a
field.
baseball field fight?
The very first. No, the very first.
Joe, get over here, Joe. We can hear you too, bro. This is live on YouTube right now, and people are like, "She went to Garfield." Everybody's claiming you now, right?
I did go to Garfield, but I just like it was like nothing but trouble. So like I was only there for like 6 months, and then one of the counselors came up to me one day. I was ditching school actually with like these new kids that I met, and of course peer pressure, bad influence. I was walking out of school, and the counselor comes up to me and he's like, "Seniesa, come here," and I was like, "Oh man, I'm in trouble." He's like, "You don't belong here." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You need to be homeschooled so you can focus on boxing and stay out of trouble." And I was like, "Okay." And then,
Wait, they kicked you out?
He
to
basically
to
kicked
be
me
better?
out to be better. Because Garfield was that bad. They're like, "Have you ever heard of this guy named Razzo?"
Hey, Razo.
And I was like, little did I know that I'd be signed by Golden Boy around Razzo.
Oh, you were working there, right, Razo? You were the TA when she was a student
I
there?
don't remember.
Oh, but you were one of the TAs there. Oh, my. So you get kicked out of school. Razo was trying to help kids in life, and together you guys work together. Stay in school. Wow, it goes full circle. There it is. All right, go back to this stuff. You fought your first fight at a baseball
No,
field?
it was the first tournament for the Desert Showdown.
The first Desert Showdown
It was in a baseball.
in the Coachella Valley. It was in continuation school. At a
Hey.
It was because that school's called La Familia High School.
Oh, yeah, La Familia.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a continuation school. Yeah. And they did it. I still remember. You know who fought on that? Vanes fought on the first on the first ever Desert Showdown was in Thermal, California.
Yep.
On the baseball field of La Familia
No
High School.
grass.
Hey, there was. I mean, it just ran the dirt. As a matter of fact, the palm trees were over there. We had people standing by the palm trees, cutting the leaves and just using it for shade.
They would keep spinning.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was 115 degrees, no shade at all.
That made her tougher. You know, the heat from Coachella Valley made her tougher.
Oh yeah.
So you see all that, right? You go through that. We're laughing about the story. Not me, because I'm there. Like, that's you guys.
No.
You're way tougher than anybody in this room. But to go from that to where you're at fighting for a world title, like...
Oh, it's crazy. There's so many crazy stories that we have as coming up as in the amateurs, just struggling, and then as a professional, so much crazy stuff. It's insane. It's insane to see how far I come. That's why to like be fighting on a card and being televised, making the money I should be making, and sign with Golden Boy is like everything that I worked for.
That's awesome.
It's
That's awesome.
insane.
And it's like with athletes, you guys always want to look forward. You don't ever want to look
Yeah.
back. But do you ever catch yourself sometimes like, wait, for real? Like, I was driving all over the country
we
with my dad.
We
like,
still laugh about certain stuff. Like, remember when my shitty car broke down on the freeway on the way to my fourth pro fight?
Wait, on the way to your pro fight?
I had to put my trunks on, my
What kind of
uniform
car?
in the car, a 1990
Tire blows
Toyota
up.
Celica.
We have no jack. We have no spare tire. We had a spare tire, but no jack. We're sitting there for hours, and they're calling us, "Hey, she's next. You gotta get here. Not the fight is over." And no one's stopping for us. And all of a sudden, these guys in a tow truck pull over, and they're like, "Hey, dude, my daughter's about to." Nah, you're just bullshitting us. No, I'm telling you, because they go, "We're not a service, so we can't legally do
Right.
it." I go, "Dude, my daughter's about to fight down the street, and her fight is next. They're gonna cancel it. Your daughter's a fighter. Yeah, I'll show you her uniform. She's in there right now."
Yeah, she's ready to
Guy
go.
goes over there. Yeah,
She's all
he
ready
goes
to go.
over and he goes, "Oh shit, you're not lying." They go, boom, they
Let's go.
They
Yeah.
fixed the tire. They shot over.
Went there, had 5 minutes to wrap my
Wrap her hands, and
went
when
in
she
there.
goes in the ring,
What?
stopped the girl in 2 rounds.
What was this fight at?
It was,
It was
in
one of
Orange,
those private shows. It's
in
called,
Orange County.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
What's the name of it? Do you know?
Some kind of car thing?
Car or something.
Peterson Auto Museum or something?
Some shit.
What the hell?
Yeah, it
The
was
car
crazy.
broke down. and
There's
now you
stories like her. You'll find in every boxer as an amateur. Julio, my brother, when he was fighting in San Diego, one time I took Julio to the tournament, and I'll never forget because we got there late. We drove from Indio to San Diego. We got there late. We went to sleep, and the alarm. I mean, we didn't hear the alarm or whatever. I mean, we woke up late, and I go, Julio, hey, we're late. But long story short, when we got to the venue, it was 2 more fights, and then Julio. I remember he was wrapping himself, putting like that. He put on his cup and everything. And I go, hey, and they were calling his name to get the gloves. You know, you gotta go get your gloves before. I go there. Julio goes, dude, let me put on my wraps. I'm not even gonna warm up. So he didn't even warm up at all. He just put on his wraps, el solo, put the gloves on, get in there and fought like that because we got there late, 2 fights before.
No way, that's crazy. I was trying to figure out where you're at, but I couldn't find it so far. All right, Seniesa, I know you got fighter meetings for DAZN. Last thing for your fans that are watching, everybody is claiming you now.
All right.
All right.
But I'm not, as long as you don't claim me from like Orange County or anything.
Oh, see, that's where the car broke down. We don't need that right there. All right, so Seniesa Estrada tomorrow on DAZN. She's the second fight on DAZN right after Hector Tanajada. So a little bit after 6:30 tomorrow. All right, get your meetings, girl. Thank you very much.